Okay, so here we have 5 columns showing the basic rundown of the project, and I'm going to go through each one, helping you to understand what we have invested at the moment, the implantation cost details per acre, how the land is divided, and the cultivated species potential for the entire project. First, I'd like to start off with the shareholder information. We have some private investors that have invested up till now $144,500, and each one of these dollars represents 1 share. So we won't be selling these shares, we will be adding shares to the bottom line. So if an investor comes in, he invests $10,000, then we will have $154,500. And we will keep growing without a limit. This project will just be adding shares each quarter for the corporation. Now the implantation details. We have a land size of 58.3 acres. Price per acre that we have invested up till now, $2,449. And that is basically this number divided by this number. The number of trees that we can plant on the plantation per available acre is 480, and the cost per tree is projected to be around $45. That includes the cost of the cloned species, the labor to prepare the ground, to do the implantation, the soil conditioning, all the fertilizer, soil treatments going on through the course of the life cycle of the 10 to 12 year project, and the implantations such as edifice, etc. Everything that we need to do within the plantation is covered in this tree cost. Now, per acre, that's going to come to $21,600, and the total investment between the land and the implantation and maintenance is going to be $24,049 per acre, and that's a total cost per tree of $50.10. Okay, so going into the vested interest here. This is the amount of cubed meters that we expect to produce in the 10 to 12 year cycle. We basically look for a harvest date of when the tree will be equivalent to 1 cubed meter, and that we expect to take place between 10 to 12 years. So each acre will produce the production of 480 cubed meters. The market cost at the moment is $680 per cubed meter for African mahogany here in Brazil. The liquid per acre, that would bring us to $326,400, and the cost, of course, is $24,049, as we went over already in this column. That leaves us with a profit of $302,351 per acre. Of course, we have 58 acres, but not the entire acreage is available to be planted, so this brings us to the land divisions. We also have 13.6 of permanently protected preservation, where the native species will be protected and developed further. And we have 2.2 acres for the access road and structure limitations. We have 42.25 left over for cultivated acreage, where we can plant the chosen species to invest. So that brings us right down to the cultivated species potential of the entire plantation. The total acreage production potential, if we can raise the total amount for the total project, will be around 20,280 cubed meters of production, and that would require an investment of $1,402,056. However, that brings us to a brute return of pushing 14 million. 13,790, 400 should be our returns if we multiply this value by the market value. That brings us to a production of liquid profit, almost to 13 million, 12,774,329. That is the brute minus the cost of investment. Okay, so this brings us to the land title. We have two different scenarios here. I'm going to explain each one. If we have a total investment below $375,000, the land title will be licensed to the U.S. court by the existing owners. Now, if we get a total investment above $375,000, the land title can be transferred to the U.S. court by the owners. So let's say hypothetically we raise more money. It's possible that that could happen. So if we do, then the rest of the money will go into purchasing more acreage, more property, and we'll just expand the corporation into other projects as well. And let's say that this is more money than what we need. That's also a possibility. If that is possible, the money will just stay into the corporation and it can be invested in further projects, or this is just liquid property between and owned by all the vested interest. So here we have a plot layout of the entire plantation, which I'll go over with you in finer detail. This is the area. Of course, this is in Portuguese because it is a Brazilian project, but this is the total area in hectares, which is, I believe, is also used in Europe. Each hectare is approximately 10,000 square meters, and each hectare is equivalent to 2.5 acres. So this is the cultured area, and these two together are our PPP areas of permanent protection. This is a pasture area, and so we have also roads that are destined to 0.89 hectares. And giving you an idea of the image of the plantation. Okay, so here we have the area of about 14 acres of the PPP, permanently preserved and protected area. This is a natural water source, spring. We have wild monkeys, the small ones I've seen in here. A lot of beautiful native bird species. A lot of protected wildlife exists here in this older forest. And we have to protect that. And where it was damaged a little bit, we would like to go in and replant some native species, preferably some fruit species, flower species, to encourage more wildlife survival. And each area here on the map has a specific name, and I'm going to go over that with you now. This is called mountain area because it's actually a mountain. So these red lines here are access roads. And since we've made this map, we've extended this access road all the way over to the other side of the mountain. We've created a protective fence here. And so what this access road does is gives us ease to delivery of the seedlings in large quantity versus manhandling and high labor. And heavy bags such as fertilizer, etc. We need good access to the entire plantation. This area here is called gully area because it does have some valleys and gullies in it with a lot of shading and some high water content areas that are preferably very good to plant in. Here we have ridgetop area. This is a ridge on the plantation, and it starts going down on the other side. And over here we have what's called black forest. This is a very large area, And this is the highest point of the plantation, which is about 800 meters above sea level. And from this point we have a magnificent view of the surroundings. The horizon of very far off you can see from this point. This area here is called Lower Crest, and this is the main entrance to the plantation, and this is the main road that goes by the front of the plantation. So the main entrance here, we have forks that go into every area of the plantation for good access of delivery of supplies and seedlings. Okay, so I guess that should give you a pretty good idea of the parameters and specifications, projections of the entire project. This is the entire 58.3 acres of the pilot project, and this is the 42.5 acres available to be planted of selected species as designated in the project. Any questions, please feel free to email. I'm Shane, the project director and organizer. Inquiries, email to contact@rescueforestsbrazil.org. Thank you for your consideration.